right. So,
Welcome.
welcome. This is Not a Pod, the podcast that we are doing dedicated to the fantastic manga written by Aya Yazawa. I'm Crystal.
I'm Kirsten.
And we are here to dissect this manga, discussing everything from the emotions, the cultural impact, as well as any headcanons that might be floating around inside our brains. With this podcast, we hope to preserve a shoujo staple that sadly hasn't been talked about in a very long time. We are here in apartment 707 discussing, I think this is chapter 2 in book 2, but this is episode 4 of Nanapod. So I guess before we get into the chapter proper, did you have any pre-thoughts, Kirsten?
No.
No.
No, not particularly. I mean, I'm excited that they're finally going to be living together,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Obviously, like I don't have pre thoughts because I just reread the chapter. So it's like I've got thoughts on the chapter.
Okay.
But yeah, they're finally going to be living together.
Yes.
So we finally get to move into like seeing this union a little bit better. And one of the things, well, Yasu is in this chapter. So like obviously. But you know, it's we also get to see like Nana actually like Hachi Nana K, like taking, some steps in maturity in this chapter, which is really nice
Yeah.
because we know how I feel. Um,
Yes.
and do you have any pre-thoughts or thoughts on the chapter?
I mean, I same. I'm really excited that they get to start living together. I love how even though they're not, at I guess friendship status, yes, the easiness at which they sort of collide together as friends, I think is quite lovely. And um Shoji doesn't talk a lot in this episode, and good.
All that matters, he's quiet.
Yeah, stupid Shoji. But yeah, I guess that's yeah, no, I am excited to see them just be friends and get to be together.
Well,
So
and to
that's
see each other again.
yeah,
Right? Because
exactly.
like in the last chapter where we left off, we literally left off with like Nana just in like Hachi Nana. Hachi
Hmm.
Nana. Walking in the hallway with Mr. Ando. And then we see Nana O in the apartment, right? So we left off with
Hmm.
them not seeing each other yet. And this chapter starts off with them walking in and Hachi, like her eyes being huge, like, oh shit,
Hmm.
it's her. It's her.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's like lovely in its own right. Like,
Hmm.
and we have like one of those classic like viewing back,
Yeah.
remembering
Hmm.
remembering all the things, well, but also not, because like something that you notice within like these flashbacks is Hachi really knows nothing about Nana,
No.
and she never does,
True.
right? Nana's just a
Yeah.
big old mystery to Hachi, but I think that's also like, I don't know, part of her appeal.
Yeah, because like we said, I think last episode is like she's just an ethereal creature. So the unknowable.
Right. Oh, and we also get the introduction to Sachiko in this chapter.
Yeah, about
Right.
okay. Yeah. We'll get there. I do have a thought about like, oh no, because created from whole cloth in Hachi's brain, and then
Right,
well,
right. I think that it's just like Hachi manifesting and like foreshadowing her own world.
Yeah, that's too real.
Right? Oh, oh, so good. Um, But yeah, I guess we can dive in,
Yeah,
like I kind of already
yeah,
did. I
yeah.
kind of
You
did.
did.
So,
That's okay.
so yeah, like Nana walks in and walks into the apartment, and Mr. Ando is like, or Asano,
Is it
Ando.
a
Well,
son of? I thought it was a he
either
said. Either
one of
way.
them, is one of them, and the other one is the other one. Um,
uh, I don't know
and
what.
so the old man, sweet old man,
Sweet old man.
he's like, I think we're too late,
Mm-hmm.
and then asks, if he can also show this apartment. And Nana O is like pensively gazing out the window, right?
Yeah.
And then she looks over, and the look on Hachi's face, like, and the the apartment renting guy,
Yeah.
agent
Yeah. What's that guy's name?
Yoshida,
Yoshida?
Yoshida, Mr. Yoshida.
Yeah. Something like that.
Um.
We'll find
Anyway,
his
he's
name.
a slick, greasy dude. Okay,
Oh, Yokoi.
Yoichi,
Yeah,
Yokoi.
yeah, Yokoi.
I would have to see it. Yokoi.
It's on the next
Yokoi,
page.
Yokoi. I don't
Yokoi.
remember. It's
Mm,
it's
the
fine.
greasy
Anyway, the
guy.
greasy guy, the greasy sleek renter guy,
Yeah.
right? The greasy sleek landlord, and then the sweet old man. That's what we have. Okay,
Yes.
simple. So he's like, oh, but my client has decided, yeah, blah blah blah, because he's trying to snag the sale. Like he doesn't care about people, whereas like sweet old man is just like, I care about people.
Hmm.
Like very different, very
He's so
different.
lovely.
And then suddenly Hachi's like, hey, like this like little bleep is so cute.
Yeah, I love that shot of her just because in my head I hear, hey,
Uh-huh.
like,
Yeah, exactly.
ooh,
Yeah, exactly. And then like just having like the two landlord guys in the middle, right? And
she's
like,
shouting it. She's
right? And she's just
yelling.
screaming over literally all of them.
Oh, Hachi
And so
never
then she freaks
change.
out. She's like, Nana, you're here. This is so
Hmm.
crazy. And then in Nana O's like classic deadpan humor,
Hmm.
she's like, I'm sorry, who are you? And Hachi just falls to the ground. Like she's just like defeat. Like just defeat.
Oh my God. Honestly though, like I think that this is I keep on saying this, but it's just like a thing. It is really you and me,
Right?
honestly. In this one, I'm just like, I'm so excited. Like, I'm sorry, what are we
Excuse
excited about?
me. Like, what are we doing?
And I'm like, oh, my bubble.
Well, like, that's the thing though, because then like Nana's freaking out, and well, Hachi's freaking out, and Nana is like, no, I'm kidding. Like
Mm,
that was a joke.
right, JK.
Right? Like, it's all right. I was giving you crap. Like,
Yeah,
of course I know who you are.
yeah, and Hachi's so excited though that she's immediately back into, you remember me, that's awesome.
Right? But then she goes on to say, I didn't recognize you at first. You look totally different. And I believe I recall in the anime, like they do like a little pan in of her like looking professional. Because she does dress the part when she needs a part.
Yes. Yes, Hachi's very good at that.
And so the greasy landlord guy is like, you guys know each other? And then the old man is like, I had no idea. It's like, how would any of you have an idea? They didn't even know they were gonna see each other. Like,
No.
yeah, like they didn't know. So, and then Hachi's like, yeah, we're, and then Nana's like, not really friends. And then Hachi's devastated again.
Yeah. Again, play the drinking game, kids, every time.
No, but seriously, like, just do it.
Yeah, just do it. Every time Hachi's like crying, and she's crying again here. So.
The panic.
The panic.
The
I know.
panic.
We're
Right?
not friends. How could you say that?
Right. And it like makes me like actually really wonder, like, because like we know that Nana had like she's not exactly traumatized, but at the same time she reacts as if she has been traumatized. Right? Am I
Well,
wrong
yeah.
in that?
No, that's you. No, I think that that's a thing, but also like, yeah, I think Hachi's just kind of got that like, but I decided in my head that we're friends. Why aren't you reciprocating?
Right. I came up with an entire fantasy. Thank you.
I did. Please don't knock it down.
I made glass castles. You can live with me in them, but you have to be nice.
Yeah, no, that's that's very true. And I think that is her trauma. Getting shut down is like Hachi's.
Right. Yeah, but like that's the thing cuz like it's like but you're so, I think that it's just like so comfortable that it's like
Mhm.
she just like I don't know, skips through the world, right? She
Yeah,
skips. Um
yeah.
yeah. So, they're recognizing that they know each other. And
Hmm.
then um let's see.
Isn't our like greasy guy? He's still like pushing the
Of
sale
course, yeah. He's like, "Do you
there.
want it?" Because he wants to make the sale because he cares about the sale, right?
Hmm.
He's not personable,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
Um, like he's just but like it's also because he's compared to like this like sweet little old man,
Hmm.
you know? And so like Nana's like thinking about it and so old man, he's like, if you're undecided, can I show this young lady? And like in the background, Hachi's already like checking it out and freaking out. Like
Oh yeah, she's all about that wallpaper and the bedrooms and the clawfoot bathtub.
right? Oh,
And
you have to
she,
have a bathtub. Like it's just
yeah,
like I mean, a bathtub is like an iconic like statement piece throughout the whole series.
that's true. I mean, I would also want a apartment that has a clawfoot bathtub,
Oh yeah, no,
honestly.
this apartment is like I think the dream apartment for anybody who read this when they were young.
No, that's true.
Yeah, so no, like but yeah, the clawfoot bathtub is totally a staple.
Yes,
It's a necessity. Um just like but the apartment, I love this apartment so much.
it is. It's really cool. Do love it.
Right? And so she's like, the bedrooms are huge, a clawfoot bathtub, and freaking out. And then she's like, I'll take it. Like, she doesn't even consider what else is going on. She's just like, I want this. Thanks. Have a good day.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I see a thing. I like a thing, and
Right?
that's I get the thing.
Right. And so then Nana O and Greasy Landlord is like, hey, wait a second. And Nana O is like, I found this place first. And like Greasy Landlord's like, yeah, blah, 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 blah.
Hmm.
And so then Hachi hits panic again. And she's like, oh my goodness, people pleasing. She's a people pleaser. Oh my
Hmm.
goodness, yada yada. Like, sorry guys.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Right? And so old man is like, I thought you were undecided. And then it pans into Donna like deadpan face. No, I've decided. I want it. Like, right?
Yeah.
It's Yokoi. His name is Yokoi.
Yokoi. Yeah.
Um, And so she's like, I want the lease. And so then Hachi is like crying and begging and like holding her hand back from signing. Like,
Yeah.
no, no,
Please don't.
stop. And so then she like goes into like, well, Nana is like, I don't want to sleep in hotels anymore. Like, I'm
Hmm.
over all of this. I just need a place to sleep. And
Yeah.
Hachi's like, but I can't do the thing.
Hmm.
She can't live with Shoji anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just not an option.
Yeah.
And so Nana is like, did you get dumped? And she's like, no, but if I stay with him, I will. And she's still freaking out. But then, like, this is when you see Nana's expression turn into that kind friend to
Yeah.
hold space for her.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, because I actually like Nana's face in the first one when she's asking her if she got dumped.
Yeah,
She's
she's like snickering about it.
yeah, but like not in a super
No, it's
douchey
like
way.
teasing. She's teasing her,
Yeah, she's
right?
like,
Because they were so
oh,
lovey-dovey and because of their first conversation. So she's like
yeah.
teasing her about it.
She's like, oh, girl, what happened? And then yeah, Hachi's like, no, but like actually, and yeah, and then her face is very like. wait, but wait a minute. And yeah, that's what I mean, like by their easy
Hmm.
friendship. Like right
Right,
there. It's like,
right.
oh, they're gonna be such good friends.
Exactly, exactly. And then greasy landlord dude is like, "Excuse me." And then like, I mean, Hachi, like, I don't know, her angry face isn't really angry, but Nana's angry face, like,
Oh, yeah.
shuts
Well,
the room down.
yeah, because he's all like, what? He's like, can you just like gossip later? And yeah, I guess Hachi's voice would kind of be like, get lost, dude. But yeah, no, Nana's is like, bro, like,
Right.
read the fucking room,
Read the
man.
fucking room. Just be quiet for 2 seconds. Stop focusing on your sale. Stop being a
Right?
capitalist prick, like essentially, right? And
Yeah.
so Hachi is like, "You suck. I'm really freaking
Hmm.
out about this." And Nana grabs his jacket and like has a. I know she has a fist under that word blurb. By the way,
Oh, yeah.
she had
No, for
to.
real. Yeah, she's so like she's like physical altercation like right now. Like, what did you say to my girlfriend?
Right? Right? Like seriously, what is wrong with you? Don't you see what's going on? Like, right?
Yeah.
And like just like calling him out. Like she's straight up calling him out. Like, how are you so bad with people? Like, what's wrong with you?
I actually kind
Um,
of like it that that's for like the next couple panels, he's just literally like in the corner, like, but feelings?
right? Exactly. Like
Chastised. I've been so
hum-
chastised.
humans have feelings. There's humanity attached to this job,
No, I never considered.
right? And so then like little old man, he's like, now, young ladies, let's stay calm. Like protecting
Hmm.
greasy dude, but like he's like nervous about it and he's like, this guy doesn't deserve my kindness, but okay. And so then he steps in and he's like, I have an idea if you want to hear it. And Nana's like, who's this easygoing Gramps? And Hachi is like, that's Mr. Ando from the real estate agency by the train station. He's a veteran in the business. And in the anime, like, it's a cute little pan into him.
Hmm.
I mean, I didn't even rewatch this episode. I'm just like recalling, and I'm like, yeah, like, like this scene though, this scene is great.
Yeah, it's a fantastic scene. Just a
Um,
side character, and he's got an idea. Have you noticed
I
how like
mean, no, but he just yeah, he's a side character, but he has a full like role,
yeah. I
right?
also noticed in like a few of these chapters how there's a lot of fourth wall breaking, especially in this chapter,
Right. Yeah, definitely. I
which is
mean,
fun.
it is fun. It is fun. Even though this chapter also set my timeline for a loop.
Eh,
Ayazawa
oh,
World Time. Ayazawa World Time. It sent my timeline for a loop a little bit, but we'll get there.
um,
We'll get
uh,
there.
oh, okay. Because I'm like, oh yeah, because time is irrelevant in Yazawa time.
Right. Yeah, because Yazawa is like, oh, but like time is my time. I get to write the time anytime I want to write time. You
You hear
know?
that, writers? You can do whatever you want
You
with
can do
time.
whatever you want with time. Time isn't real. It's true. And so, cute little old man, he's like, fate seems to have thrown you young ladies together.
Yeah.
And then he's like, why don't you both just live here? And like the looks of shock on their face, like, we didn't even consider do to do.
Right. There's two bedrooms.
It's
What?
only set up perfectly
Right.
for two people to live there. Because the
Hmm.
bedrooms are across the living space from each other. Like, that's
With
brilliant. Like, that design is
yeah.
so great for
Yeah, that's
anybody, honestly.
mm-hmm. No,
Right?
agreed. It should
Yeah.
be separate.
It's so great. It's so great. And um and so he's like, he even says it. See, the bedrooms are on separate sides of the apartment. So you can each
Hmm.
have some privacy, but you can
Yeah.
be together when you want. Um,
Yes.
right? And I just love the way he approaches it. Like he's just like so gentle about it. And then finally, and he's like, not to mention half the rent. And so then they both freak out. Like
Yeah.
who wouldn't freak out? They're 20, moving to the city. Rent is
Yeah.
expensive. They're finding the cheapest apartment that they already can.
Mm-hmm.
And probably also thinking about how they would struggle to pay for it as it
Uh,
is.
yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, And then greasy landlord dude is just like, does that mean that we split the agent fee too? And old man is just like dot dot dot, like just not even responding to him.
Just pretend you didn't hear him. He's probably just like, I have suddenly become deaf in both my
Right? He's
ears.
just ignoring him altogether. And and so like
Ah,
they're like, oh yeah, this would be that. And awesome, we should do this. And then Hachi is like over the moon about it. It's a dream come true to live with in a huge nice place for so cheap and blah blah blah. And
yeah, I'd be over the
Nana
moon
is
for it
like,
too.
because like high energy Hachi, like
No.
lunging towards her, and she's like, wait, hold on a second. Like this is a lot. What am I signing up for? You can see it on her face.
Yeah, that's true.
And then
Uh,
she's like, will I get any privacy? And Nana's like, I promise, totally. And it's like, wait a second, though, hold on. And so then sweet old man is like, I can put locks on your bedroom doors, yada yada. And so that way they can have their privacy.
hmm
Which
Oh,
honestly, though, like the locks on the doors thing, I'm just like, yeah, I kind of get it, but also it doesn't really matter if you don't have boundaries.
th- that's true.
Right?
It's true.
I
But
mean,
yeah, a lock on the door, sure.
yeah. But if you don't have boundaries of like,
Yeah,
hi, don't knock on my fucking door. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't actually matter.
it's true. I don't think they don't ever really discuss boundaries, do they, Nana and Hachi? I
No,
don't
but they
think
don't need them because they just symbiotically get along so well.
that's true.
They just flow,
That's very true.
right? And so like Nana's super happy and she's like, thank you so much. I get all the things I want because Hachi Nana always gets what she wants.
Mm, true.
Even if she doesn't want it, she manifests it.
That's true.
It's because she's constantly like yelling at the demon lord. It's why.
Oh
Like she's
man,
constantly like summoning gods.
you ever think that the demon lord is like, I keep providing for you, why you keep yelling at me?
Right? Why are you mad at me? I'm your fortune. Like
I'm your friend. Why you like little sad demon
right?
teardrop?
Sad demon lord. Sad demon
Oh
lord. Aw. I
no.
want a sad demon lord t-shirt.
Oh my god, like I can make fan art for us. Like that is not a problem.
I want sad demon lord. I want sad
Okay.
demon lord.
We can do
Um
a sad demon lord. I can do that. Or, if anyone else out there wants to do fan art, like just do it. We
yeah,
need it.
just do it. Just do it. Sad demon lord. We need sad crying whittle demon lords.
Little demon lord.
What does the demon lord look like to you? You know,
Yes.
yeah.
Gimme. Give us. Give,
Give
give, give.
us um but it then greasy landlord is trying to be sneaky,
hmm
right? And he's like, are you sure?
Yeah.
And blah blah blah, which is fair. I mean, it's fair. It is. I mean, we get there though too. We get there.
I mean,
um
yeah, I mean, he does make a
he's
good
saying it for the wrong
point.
reasons.
Yeah, it's a good point he's making about like, like, well, you don't know her. I mean, what if she annoys you? But it's like, but we've already established she doesn't care about people, so I think Nana
Right,
already knows
exactly. Right, and Nana just shuts it out. She's like, whatever, dude, you're the one that's annoying, like, done,
that.
just over it,
And
just
now he's
like move along. And so now he's like literally like gonna quit his job.
yeah, he's like back in his corner, like, oh man.
Like he's like, oh, I lost hard, I lost so hard.
Oh my
But like,
God.
no, because he reminds me of a used car dealer.
It's true. But what a force of nature is Nana to make this man can like no, like you
Ow.
yeah, like you need to know that people have
Right.
feelings and you know what? Quit your whole ass job. Like just
Right. Like we're just done with you. Like this
we're
is
done
it.
with
It's
you.
over. It's over. Move along, mister. Move along. And so then she like just directly like diverts to Mr. Ando, the old man,
hmm
and asks him about when the locks can be put in. He's like, tomorrow. And then she's like, I'm gonna move in tomorrow. What about you? And she doesn't call her Hachi yet, but she's saying it to Hachi.
hmm
And she's like, yeah, me too. And then like, so it's a deal.
hmm
And um then they shake on it and it's precious.
Oh yeah.
And Hachi recalls the feeling of when they shaked hands.
Mm-hmm.
And the connection, you know?
Yeah.
I was watching this little like TikTok clip, and it was from Boy Meets World in Topanga, and talking about how like Topanga's super woo woo because she was super woo woo like before, you know what I mean? And so is that clip of when she meets Corey, and then she's like, "Can I shake your hand so that I can like feel like the energy to see if we have a connection?" And and so like that's what this is though, you know,
Yeah.
is Hachi's recalling that connection.
Mm-hmm.
Um because she felt like she was gonna start crying and she didn't know why. And um I mean, if psychics were real,
Yeah.
then Hachi would be psychic. But I think that she's just exceptionally intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she's just very intuitive. Um and I think it's because of the Demon Lord.
Again, I give you these gifts and all you do is yell at me.
I mean, in reality, if this was written today, Hachi would probably be a member of like the Satanic Church or something.
Oh, I mean, probably. But isn't the
Showing
satanic?
up in like pastel and vintage clothes.
Oh, that's
Skipping
amazing.
in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'm here for this. I'm totally seeing it in my head. And she's just
Oh,
like,
that's kind of
"Hail
cute.
Satan! Hi guys!"
Oh, I love that. Just
Right?
designer clothes and nails.
Yeah, no, like vintage clothes, adorable, right? Pigtails, curls, all the things. And just like, "Hail
Oh,
Satan! How's your day going?"
yes.
Right? Oh, I
Oh, that's
can't
good.
unsee it now. I can't unsee it.
Oh, I love that image. That's fantastic.
Right? Rent free. Here we go. So then we like pan to like the next bit. What? We'll just say like an hour later. I don't know.
Probably.
But it's Junko, and she's like, "Nana, what the hell are you doing?"
Yeah.
And they're in like a cute little shop,
Hmm.
and so we assume that Hachi told June about the apartment
Yeah.
because, she's like, "Oh, I don't know. Like, we're just gonna split the rent. Like, it's
Yeah.
fine, you know?" And like, cool people have roommates all the time. And so June's like, "You're too vulnerable with strangers."
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that is valid.
Yeah, that's actually true.
But like honestly though, nobody like really knows their connection, right? And it might be like blind faith. Sure.
Yeah. Well, as far as anyone knows, because like Shoji didn't see a person, all she said was, I sat next to this person.
Nobody has seen Nana. They've
No one has
only
seen
heard
Nana.
about Nana from Hachi,
Right.
right?
They're like, oh, a
And
figment of her
we
imagination.
know Hachi. So
Yeah.
it could actually mean anything, and it doesn't even mean that Nana is real.
Exactly. Like, oh, sure. You met someone on the train. Yeah, sure you did.
Right. How do we not know it's like, the demon lord,
You're right.
right?
Yeah.
And also just the general judgment. Like, I don't blame her friends for worrying.
Oh, yeah. No, me neither. I would worry too if I was Junko. I'd be like,
Right.
ugh,
Exactly.
okay.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And so she's like, "You can't move in with someone you don't even know." And I was like, "She's not a stranger. I told you we sat next to each other on the train. These coincidences have to mean something." Oh, maybe it's the demon lord's fault. See, that's why nobody takes her seriously.
It's true, but she takes the Demon Lord very seriously.
Right,
So
right,
that's
because of Nostradamus's predictions. Exactly. Nostradamus was actually a great astrologer just because people don't understand astrology. It's not his fault, and he's dead, so he can't explain himself.
true.
Just saying. Um And so Junko is like, no more of that demon lord hoo-ha, like all angry faced. And it's like, well, that's not going to go away. Like,
No.
soon you're all going to believe in the demon lord and you're not even going to know it. That's what happens. Spoiler alert.
Right.
And so like Nana doesn't even understand why June is mad. Like at all. Like not at all.
Oh, and she's just like, wait, you're jealous because I'm gonna go live with some other girl? That's gotta be it. That's why June's mad,
Right.
right?
Right. And then she's like, June, you know I'd live with you if I could, but you already have Kyusuke. Like and then June's like, well, maybe the girl thinks she can do you. And then
Oh,
Nana's like, what? Do me? Huh?
yeah, she doesn't. She's like, huh? Not even registering. Like that's not
Right.
even
Well, like she
registering.
doesn't though. And June is like, you get picked up by butchy girls. Like that's it. Like because of how you are. And Nana's like, what the hell are you saying? I mean, what if she's a June's like, what if she's a serial killer or something? Like valid.
I mean, yeah, but oh my goodness, like the way we sort of like ricocheted, I actually had this interesting moment when I was reading this, and she's just like, you get picked up by these butchy girls because of the way you
Oh yeah.
act. And I was like, hold, wait, June, pause for a second.
Mm-hmm.
At what other points has Hachi been flirted with by women that are, like lesbian women? Like, when did that happen? Did
We
we?
didn't see it.
We didn't see it, and I kind of want to see it.
Right. We didn't see it. But also the language, like you can definitely tell with the language of that. And this whole portion, like this is very early 2000s.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Because this is not the language that we would use today.
No, not at all.
But like Kyusuke and Jun would be dating, but like Shoji wouldn't be in the picture if this was today. He would be a totally different character. He'd probably be more of like, a Yasu.
Mm.
Just saying. Not really. I just want him to be. Um,
Oh, that's a fair wish.
I think so.
That's a fair wish. No.
But yeah, like this is obviously like this like and I guess throughout the whole series, like it's not that it's dated because it's not necessarily dated because it was very progressive for its time.
Hmm.
But I would actually lay claim more so to dated language that we will see because of translation.
Yeah.
Um, and so, we can also projectively think, well, I mean, I could probably find these original panels to see what the actual translation was and if this was like a choice of Viz Media, right?
Right.
Because like I don't know, like did you ever watch the first Fruits Basket dubbed with the subtitles on?
No.
Not the closed caption, but the subtitles.
No.
The translation is different
Oh, I mean, I'm sure.
drastically.
My first introduction to Fruits Basket was actually from my friend Mark because I was over at his house and he was like, there is this anime and I wanted to show it to you because I think that you would, one, like it, and two, you're Toru Honda. And I was like, huh? And then we watched it and I was like, I love this. So yeah,
Right.
no, I
Yeah,
didn't,
no,
I didn't see it.
they're variably different.
Yeah.
Because that was one of my comfort shows for years. So I've seen it probably thousands of times.
Yes,
Um,
it's so good.
and
Everyone
the
watch Fruits
biggest,
Basket.
like, one of the things that I found interesting, though, from the translation differences is how they translate God.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's totally different. It's so different. It's so drastically different. But that's something I always find fascinating when we have these translations because when it's an anime, it's a little different because they also have to pick words that kind of fit to the mouth
Yeah.
or the timing of saying it, right?
Yeah.
But when we have these translations, there's no excuse for the weird ass translations we see sometimes. There's literally no excuse, except they don't want to say them or they don't want to explain them, right? Because they're culturally different.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be curious of this like whole panel of their conversation, even in regard to like the serial killer aspect, and like how did they discern and describe that as well,
Right.
right? Like, but back on point, June's
Yeah.
not wrong,
No, she's not.
and she's totally valid for being concerned for Nana, like because
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, like what this is like day 2 of her being in Tokyo, by the way.
Yeah. What
And
adventures.
right? And she's just like, and I got a place with the stranger that I met on the train. Are you guys excited? Are you proud?
And yeah, I'm an adult now, and they're like, no, you weirdo, you could die. Who is
Right,
this person?
exactly. Yeah, exactly. And so June is like, you're just moving in with a total stranger. Like, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but like she like goes to like the dark place because she's like, be prepared to get stripped down, taken to the cleaners, and sunk in Tokyo Bay. Like she straight up goes to, you're going to be unalived.
I mean, I June is very relatable in that moment because I had this really weird reputation. I don't know if you ever had this when you were like working for the bookstore or anything, but like when I was working for Han and Stone, I became known as the person who would like escalate the thing. And June being like, get stripped down and taken to the cleaners, and you're gonna totally get dunked into the bay. Bye bye, Hachi. I would do that with situations at work all the time, and everyone would look at me kind of like the way Hachi's looking at June, like, "Whoa, what is wrong with you? Why would you say such a thing?" And I'm like, I'm just saying, could happen. It's true.
Yeah, no, that wasn't me. No, here's the thing. I am autistic, and
Yeah.
nobody knew that,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
right? So like, because like honestly though, it's a different time, so we can talk more openly about these things. Um,
Mm-hmm.
than we could, in the early 2000s, mid 2000s.
Right.
So I was just weird, and everybody thought I was like super irresponsible, which I was. But
Oh.
I know, but I'm quirky, and I don't understand things sometimes.
I mean, same, because I think you have more of like like where like your autism is, and I'm like, I know I have something because I have things.
Neurospicy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And neurodivergence is such a big thing, and there's so many overlapping things. And because of neuroscience now being a part of like the autism like discussion, quote unquote, it is like completely changing the field and how diagnostics works, which is great. Because like for me, I mean, I started therapy when I was so young.
Mm-hmm.
And so just the evolution from the 90s to now,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a lot of missteps and a lot of abuse in order to get where we are today. That went on a different tangent
Yeah.
altogether. But yeah, so
Yeah.
when I was younger, I maybe didn't make the best choices. But that's also because I have a very different brain than the society that I live in.
Yeah. No, that's true.
And things that made sense simply to some people, I like, you knew me,
Yeah.
right? I think about
Yeah.
things weird.
Or you think about things that actually make sense. I don't know, because like when you say, like the things and the stuff, I'm like, I know exactly what she's talking about.
Right,
So
right. It's the details and the nuance that nobody else sees.
true.
It's literally it's literally what it is. But yeah, back to it. Like, yeah, that went down a road. A road.
Go down a road. Well, all anyone needs to know is that they need to take another shot because Hachi is crying
She's
again.
crying. Hachi is crying. No, and but also just to like a side note back onto that topic really, really quick. Self-diagnosis is valid, but understand what it is.
Yeah.
And understand that you could be wrong.
Yeah.
Because so many different things layer over these other things
Hmm.
because they are a neurodivergent umbrella.
Yeah. Big umbrella.
It's a big umbrella. It's a big umbrella, and a lot of people have been misdiagnosed. So,
Yeah.
just
We're
tread lightly, understand your lane in these conversations and in these spaces, read the room. Read,
Mm-hmm.
always read the room. And if
Yeah,
you're searching for identity, take your time in searching for it and
yes.
listen. Just listen to the people and the spaces that you're in. That is my advice. That is my wisdom. From
Yes.
Hachi crying, because yes, she is crying again. Because June is literally telling her that she's going to be unalived and dropped in Tokyo Bay. And Hachi is like, why are you saying that? Like,
Same.
why are you ruining this? And then in the next panel, like, she's like in a jumper. She's like tiny. She's a little chibi in a jumper.
She's like in a bear suit. It looks like she's in a
Right?
bear suit.
And like June is just like, oh, I don't know. Like, in regard to why she's saying it. And June is like, what do I care if you're unalive? Um, and then she like pretty much like jumps back in her body. Like I think that when June gets angry, like she just like jumps out of her body.
Fair.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
She's not grounded at all when she's angry.
No, no. Wild.
Right? And so then she's like, but Shoji's gonna totally freak out. Does he even know? And Nana's like, she just starts like daydreaming about him at work. And she's like, no, he doesn't know yet. Like, do.
Yeah, it's like don't even worry about it. He's
Right?
and
She's
yeah,
like, I don't want to bum him out. Like, whatever, no big deal.
yeah.
And then she's
uh
like, she doesn't want to bother him at work. And June is like, I'm literally at work right now. Like, so you'll bother me at work? Like,
uh-huh.
and she's like, yeah. And so then she finds a dress that she really, really likes, because June's at work. And June is like, no, you can't buy it. You're a slacker.
Yeah,
She hasn't even found a job.
Just snatches it right out of her hand. It's so good.
Right. But then she's walking home after that and she is looking through like a job pamphlet to find something quickly. And cursing the demon lord and, just daydreaming about like the things that she has to do, but she's also like worried about it, like lots of worry.
Mhm.
And she thinks that June's really lucky because June gets to work in a cool shop. And so she kind of wants that too.
Mhm.
And also that, June is hot and is cool and has a cool boyfriend. And that the demon lord sucks.
Yeah, these are all true things, except for the demon lord sucking, because girl, he's
Right.
helping you.
He's helping you. He's your savior. He's your Jesus.
Right?
Um And so then she like gets the apartment and Shoji's not home yet. And so she goes in and she she calls him, but he doesn't answer his phone. So now she starts to freak out and spiral and panic.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like just spiraling and panicking because what's your boyfriend doing? Right?
Right. He's working, but sure, spiral.
Or freak out. And then we have the invention of Sachiko.
Oh no, yeah.
And so she's thinking to herself, like, she's really just like balancing on the whole, can I trust him? And, that she can't exactly blame him for having wandering eyes because they were long distance for like a year. And even though they emailed each other and he's busy, like super busy, her thoughts are still wandering
Yeah.
because of something that Shoji said in the hotel room. And she pans back to that. And before they started dating, when he freaked out on her,
Yeah.
guys can do it even when they're not in love.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's still stuck on that. Like that's the thing is, even before they started their relationship, like he stuck that in her brain,
Yeah, he did.
and they never like healed it or recovered from it
Nope.
because it's still bothering her, right?
She also isn't telling him that it's bothering her, but
Right. Well, that's the lack of communication and also being 20 years old.
yeah.
I mean, that's a big part of it, right?
Yeah.
Open communication isn't exactly a forte, I think, in your 20s. I mean, it is if you're like lucky, I guess. I think that is something that does happen for some people. But
You can't see the face I'm making, but I'm like, that was like the main staple of the beginning of my relationship with Nate was like just talking. It's always open communication, but that's because we had like previous like dating trauma where the communication was totally shitty, and
well, I mean,
so
it also matters when you started dating. It also matters, like, there's so many different factors. It matters how long you were friends first. Like, there's all these different variables that go into that. And I think that the general, like, experience for a lot of people, which if it wasn't the general experience for a lot of people, we wouldn't have so much fucking bullshit self-help
true.
about, like, this is how you date,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because I think that, early in relationships, you have to learn how to communicate. And I think that a lot of people get really stuck on not wanting to get rejected instead of learning how to communicate
Mhm.
because of the way that we view modern dating or Western dating or non-traditional dating, right?
Yeah.
Um,
So because of the not communication,
right, because of the not communication, we have the birth of Sachiko.
Sachiko, and she's dreamed up this really pretty woman. My
Yeah,
goodness.
traditionally hot,
Oh yeah, so
right? Traditionally hot. And she's fantasizing of them doing. And um and then like Sachiko's like, ain't I better than that country girl? And Shoji's like, oh yeah, most deaf Sachiko. Like most deaf.
who says that?
And then she's like in her pajamas that are like super big and is just like, oh my god, I'm going nuts. Who the hell is Sachiko? Like, I'm going to bed. It's
You see, this is
like,
why no one can believe her that Nana's real because there's a whole
and
ass person in her
she
head.
just invented a whole ass human. Like, it's one thing to like get paranoid and like, blah blah blah. It's another thing to like imagine them so fluidly that they have a name that they tell you.
Yeah, she gave her a name and a backstory. Like that's bad.
Right? Instantly. Boom. Done.
Instantly, yes.
So she tries to go to sleep, but then she can't sleep. And then so she's just like waiting. Like she's just waiting. And
Hmm.
she's like waiting for a wayward husband. Sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Not my husband. Um and then she's like, this must be how Takashi's wife felt too. See, so like there's that part of it. Like, here's the thing. This is her trauma. Her trauma is being like the other woman understanding what cheating is,
Yeah.
not knowing how to communicate because she doesn't want to be rejected.
Hmm.
Right? And like that's also so much of the other Nana situation. She doesn't want to be rejected.
Yeah.
And it really does all stem back to Takashi.
Yeah.
Um
And the curse of the demon lord, apparently.
well, apparently it's Satan. But like it's just, I really think that that's such a pivotal point in her rejection trauma.
Yeah. It's I
And
think
so
it's
she's like, so I
interesting.
guess it's payback time. The
Well, it's
demon
just
lord curse.
interesting. It's
Right.
yeah, like what it's interesting. She's like even like thinking that too, because it's like you said goodbye to Takashi. That was like your closure, but I
It doesn't mean
guess
that the sensational
not.
feelings go away. Just because you have closure doesn't mean it's healed.
True. That's very true.
Right? It doesn't mean it can't be a theme in your life.
Yeah, know that
And
one.
it doesn't mean that, she can't still have guilt about it.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's understandable.
Because like she just put herself in the perspective of his wife for like the first time.
True. With
You
an
know?
imaginary person, but
With an
yeah.
imaginary person, but also Takashi's wife doesn't know that Nana was real or even existed.
Ooh, that we know of.
Exactly. So like that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
And so then she's like crying, and then Shoji walks up and he's like, Nana, what are you doing? You're gonna catch a cold. And she's like, Shoji, welcome home. And she's practically jumping off the fucking deck. And he's like, watch out. And then she's like freaking out. Because and he's like, what? But I emailed you saying I was gonna be late. Did you get it? And she's like, yeah, right. What email? You didn't have to lie to me. And then he's like, I swear I emailed you, blah, blah, blah. And then he realizes that he sent it to Junko. And at that time, June is seeing it. She's like, what an idiot. And she yells it. So Kyosuke, like, jumps.
Yeah.
He's like, what? Like, what's up? But, like, he's just, like, I don't know. I love Kyosuke. He's great. And then June's like, I got this email. And so she's reading the email to him, and the email says, my coworker got the flu and went home early. So now I have to work until late tonight. So lame, sorry, but I still want to do it when I get home. Ha ha, heart, Shoji.
Shut up, Shoji.
Right? And so Kyosuke is losing his shit, like laughing. And he's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And Junko's like, I think he meant to send that to Nana. Man, what an idiot. And then they start to have serious talk. Because, like, Kyosuke's serious.
Yeah.
Serious. He's a serious dude. He's, like, super chill and super serious all the time. And so he's like, maybe you should forward that to Nana. And they're like, and June's like, no, it's already late. He's probably already home. So, like, that would be useless. And that she wished she had seen it earlier. And that Nana's been pretty weird lately. Lately, as in the last 48 hours, or as in your entire friendship?
Right? Like, wait, lately? I don't know.
How many nights is she? This is her
Second?
third night now going to be,
Third
because
night?
she showed up in the middle of the night. Day one, she cleaned the apartment. This is day two still. This is day two sleep.
Right.
So
Day
what does
two.
lately mean if she's being pretty weird lately? As in the last 5 hours?
Maybe, probably.
Right?
Yazawa time.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And so June's like explaining to Kyosuke that like Nana's gonna move in with a total stranger. And Kyosuke's like, she should just stay at Shoji's house. I don't get it. And and so June's like, why didn't Shoji just straight up ask Nana to live with him? And Kyosuke's like, I'm sure she'd stay with Shoji if Shoji would ask.
Yeah, but I hate that idea.
And it's like, and well, of course we do, because we know. But thinking of like the girl brain, the Nana girl brain, right? And so like Kyosuke's like, maybe he wants Nana to be more independent. And it's like, well, yeah, I get that part too. And but like, they're discussing Nana and like how she's kind of random and just makes decisions because she's like, this feels good, I'm gonna do it. And so Kyosuke like explains that Shoji has been like super worried the last year. And June doesn't know anything about that. And he's like, she's like, what has he been worrying about with Nana? Like, what is the deal? And like looks freaked out. And she's like, is he sick of her? And Kyosuke, like, I'm sorry, but this lean in from Kyosuke here.
It's so good.
It's so good. And June's like not even aware how good it is.
No, she's too focused on the, what do you mean worried? Like,
right. But like legit, like it's so good.
It's a great shot of him.
It is. Like, it is persuasive. And then like he just gets rejected because she like sits up, because then like Kyosuke's like, no, Shoji is not sick of Nana. He wants to marry her. And then June freaks out. And then we miss the moment. She she took the moment from us. Okay. And so
Fair.
she's like, what the hell? Like, he's only 20. And Kyosuke's like, no, you're
Agreed.
right. And Kyosuke's like, we all went to community college right after high school, and he's been trying to get into college for like 2 years. And, you know, maybe he's just like got ants in his pants and trying to rush. And June is like, that's stupid, blah, blah, blah. You know, they're just like discussing this whole thing of like him wanting to marry Nana. But like, I really don't think that I think that it's like a projection. Like he wants to marry her someday because like Kyosuke explains that he wants to be able to support Nana. Like that's the thing.
Right.
And here's where the timeline gets messed up because Kyosuke says he's been trying to get into art school for 2 years.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
I thought it was a year.
Oh, that Shoji was trying to get in for 2 years?
Yeah, because he just
I just Oh, and it's only been a year. Maybe he would
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just
Mm-hmm.
read that as Shoji is bad at studying.
I mean, yeah. So maybe he tried to get into art school and then he had to go to that technical school. Oh, yeah, because they didn't get in, so that would be 2 years. Okay, so that
Yeah.
I can make some logic of that.
Okay.
And so, you know, like Shoji's worrying that he's not going to be able to like support Nana, and June's like, "Oh, why would he worry?" Blah 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 blah. And um, you know, like they're just discussing their relationship like parents do.
Right.
It's a very wordy. It's very wordy. But
Yeah.
you know, this is where we also see like how laid back Kyosuke is about everything because he's just like, yeah, whatever, man. Like literally just like if it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
And you know, June is like trying to actually like figure this out. She's so invested. And he's like, I've known all this stuff for a really long time and just haven't told you. I think that's really what's going on here. You know, like it's not important. Like it's just not important. Right?
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing necessarily wrong with him being like, I
No,
mean,
it's yeah, like I don't have to share every conversation with you essentially. But then June is like, "Why are you always so laid back?" like and screams it at him out of nowhere.
yeah.
And he's like, "What? Why is this about me?" You know, and that's because he is laid back. And I think that like their bro talk is not necessarily something that you would think like June doesn't need to know, right?
No, that's true, but I mean, that's but June and Kyosuke have good communication, so he's just like casually like, by the way, this is what's happening.
But yeah, like Kyosuke is laid back, and yeah, they have good communication. But I mean, good communication and sharing every detail of your conversations with your bestie is not the same thing, right?
I suppose. I'm a mouth vomiter, so eh.
I mean, like he probably just didn't even think that it was that important. Obviously,
Yeah,
um,
because he's so chill.
yeah, and June didn't even notice that Shoji was worrying,
Mm, true.
right? So then we pan back from their parent conversation to
Yeah.
Shoji. And he's like, what the hell is going on? And so Nana just told him that she's moving in with Nana.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says the same thing that June said, and you're too vulnerable with strangers. And that's why you can't live with someone you don't know. And she's like, Shoji, that's what June said. Say something new. The readers will start snoring.
Fourth wall break.
Right? Exactly. Um And so he's like, I guess I get it, but I want to live with you, Nana. And I think that Shoji thought that Nana would get a job first.
Mm.
That's
Yeah,
the logical order.
true, but Hachi's not a logical person.
Right, but I think that, it was kind of implied. And I think that, like, the mature thing to do is to get a job first.
True.
Um,
Sequences are irrelevant for Hachi.
right? Yeah, exactly. And so he's like, "But what if you get lonely? You can always stay here, like trying to figure it out." And then she's like, "But I guess my pad's kind of," he's like, "I guess my pad's kind of cramping your style. I know you just want your own place, bigger and better." And she's like, "Oh, Shoji, that's not it at all. If we live together, you'll be bummed." Like, she's thinking about him in doing this. And that's something that he's missing as well. But, like, they don't have A, we know they have terrible communication. B, this is her second day in Tokyo. And he's been working half the time, if not more.
Yeah.
And then they've been sleeping. So they've only seen each other probably maybe like 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
So that's not really a lot of time or opportunity, right?
No.
Especially since they've been doing it a lot.
Yeah. I mean, a year apart, that was bound to happen.
Right. Absolutely. Exactly. But like,
oh, yeah. I mean, also when he says like pad is cramping your style, just like, oh, you can always stay here. That shot of just how small his apartment really is, like to me, especially as someone who spent admittedly way too much time with one of my boyfriends in his college dorm. Like I should have just gone to my own spot and just
this
stayed
is a
there.
normal single apartment in Japan.
Oh, is it? Okay,
Yeah.
because I'm like,
That's why
okay.
she's so excited that other apartment. That's why they're so excited it's so big. That is
Oh,
so
okay.
insanely abnormal.
Okay, because over here I'm just see again, I do that projection thing, but it's like it just reminds me of like this
I
is
think it's
his.
because, like, in this moment, this is why we witnessed that conversation from Kyosuke, in
Yeah.
that Shoji wants to provide for her,
Yeah, but I
right?
mean, his place, that's like his place. It doesn't feel like Nana.
She's been
I,
there not even 48 hours
I know. I know. Well,
and
I
didn't
mean,
say anything about showing up.
no, that's true. I mean, she kind of tried. I don't know. It feels like his place.
But
Like
no,
that
this
is
is like an average
his.
apartment. This is
Okay.
an average apartment. Like, this is
Um,
not abnormal whatsoever.
Still feels like his
Um,
place. Doesn't feel like a their place. Feels like a his place.
well, yeah, she hasn't even been there. She hasn't
Mm.
even gotten her stuff from home. She has a suitcase,
Well,
you
I
know.
mean,
Um,
she kind of tried to make it her spot, but then he got mad about the cleaning. But I digress. So.
that's not making a place a home at all. Cleaning is not making a place a home.
Mm.
Um,
I
but
beg to
like
differ, but that's just me. That is just me.
like cleaning or making your space is aesthetically stylistic.
Mm.
That's what that is. And like, this is an average apartment, and I do actually feel bad for Shoji in this moment, because like, he's embarrassed that he can't provide for her. And that's why we witnessed that conversation from Kyosuke, because he does want to provide for her. And so, like, he's taking that as a blow that he didn't work hard enough. He didn't prepare well enough to give her
Mm.
what he believes that she deserves.
But he hasn't communicated that either.
Not enough
Like,
time.
not enough time.
Not enough
Mm.
time. And she literally didn't say she was coming until she was headed to the train.
Yeah.
There was no planning from either. Like, he was planning
No.
because, like, he was, like, just trying to, like, I do give it to Shoji in this aspect, because he has been trying to get into college. And that's why we witnessed that conversation of him being worrisome about not getting his shit together fast enough to literally take care of Nana, for Nana to be a dependent upon him.
Mm.
Right? And so, like, that's what this is. He's a 20-year-old boy who's, like, trying to plan a life to marry the girl that he thinks he loves. And
I get that.
Nana's not allowing him to even show that he's trying to do that because she's so all over the place. And again, I guess this cycles back to, my first reflection on Nana and her selfishness. Like, she's not aware, right? And it's not until this moment where she's like, oh, Shoji, it's not that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And she even admits, I'm a selfish, spoiled brat. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and she's honest about it. And Shoji says, I know.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, this is very much like a moment in the story arc of when Shoji, it does show that Shoji has been committed to Nana at this point.
Yeah.
And has been doing what he said he was going to do. And just because Nana can't stick with a plan doesn't mean that it reflects poorly on him in this aspect, if that makes sense.
No, I don't think it reflects poorly. It's just somehow I think all of this is just highlighting their non-communication even more.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what yeah. I think like if we take all that into consideration, it's like, oh, and that makes that so much worse, because it's just like, well, I'm doing the thing, but doing the stuff, but she's over here like, no, but like, I need to be independent because I'm a brat, and
Yeah,
I need.
absolutely. Well, and like that's also her taking ownership though for not communicating, not making a plan. Like this is her
Mhm.
taking ownership for just being like, I'm showing up tomorrow, right? Um,
I'm going to Tokyo right now.
yeah, exactly. With no warning whatsoever, except for these projections of the future. The future is today. Sorry I didn't let you know.
Right? Put that on a
um,
bumper sticker.
right. Well, and like they literally haven't had the opportunity to communicate.
No,
I
which,
mean,
yeah.
she's had all the time in the world. He's been studying and working,
Hmm.
you know? Um, and so if they've just been sending one email a day, like what is that for communication?
Mm, not a
And
lot.
she hasn't even been there. Like this is day 2.
Mhm.
um
Which, so it's, we got all this going on with like I guess it's like a reveal of like, oh, I want to live with you and we're doing all the things. And then she just apologizes, essentially for uh just showing up out of the blue, essentially. And
mhm.
and saying she's selfish. And then he's like, oh, I'm used to that, whatever. And then he completely turns the conversation
Well, yeah, because
away.
it's like I think that that's also I think he's also like kind of joking. I don't actually believe, you know what I mean? Because
uh
like I really don't. Like I really don't.
I do, but that's just me.
Because like it's also guy humor. You know what I mean? Like sure, it could be like a half-assed like aspect of seriousness, but I think it was like to lighten the mood because obviously that's really heavy. Obviously like he's really disappointed. Like I will give this to him. Um because like he hasn't been given any opportunity. I mean, that's the reason that like their relationship ends up faltering anyway. Is because Nana doesn't really see him as a whole person.
No, people are not people.
Right. Yeah. That's so much of it. And I think that he's striving to be seen
Mm-hmm.
in his own way, even if it's obnoxious. Um, right? But like he literally hasn't been given the opportunity to provide for her at all in the last 48 hours.
No.
Um, and they just have a lot of like assumptions of time. And because Nana doesn't have a schedule,
Yeah.
he does.
Yeah. Because she didn't get a job
She
first.
didn't get a job first, right? Um, But like I think that this is also really important because Nana recognizes how he feels because she didn't consider that.
Mhm.
Um and but then like it automatically goes into you're picking me over Sachiko and then he's like who the hell is Sachiko?
Oh yeah, and yeah, that part.
Right? And she goes on to explain that he's too nice and if they lived together she'd just be too spoiled. And she doesn't want to
Mhm.
bring him down anymore. Because like she does here's the thing, is him being a dick like that first day, which was yesterday in this, I think that that's like a combination of exhaustion
Mhm.
and also taking advantage of a situation, right? Um, like I know as someone who requires my space that I don't do last minute visitors. I don't do last minute plans. I have to have like preparation. I have to have time to put myself in the mindset to do things. And he was very accommodating with her just deciding, I'm just showing up. I don't care if you're dating for a year or 2 years or not. Like that, it doesn't matter. Um, because he has a life, he has a schedule, he has responsibilities, and he's trying to create a future. And she just dropped in on that. Um,
I'm the opposite. I'm impulsive.
mhm,
And I will just like, Hachi, like packing
mhm.
and just going. That I would have honestly done the same thing. But I would have also had a communication with my person before then, like, okay, as soon as you say like gangbusters, it's go time, like I am on
Right.
that train.
Right. Yeah.
Ugh,
Like, and like that's so much of it, right?
yeah.
And I mean, then he could have prepared.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he could have prepared better, at least minimally, been like taken a day off,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, maybe.
Because like it promptly went from picking her up at the train station to getting back at like what, 1 in the morning
Mm-hmm.
to waking up and going to work. And I don't know if he was studying or if he's on summer break. We don't know any of that. So like his normal day, right?
Yeah.
And then getting home and being exhausted and expecting to notice all of these things, which were really sweet, right? Because she's trying to make up like crashing. And,
Mhm.
and now we're on day two. And he's just like, wait, what is going on now? Like, why, why can't it's a matter of why did you jump from getting a job to actually just moving out when we haven't even talked about what we're doing?
Mhm.
Because we haven't had time,
Nope.
right? There's been no time. But, she admits that she doesn't want to bring him down. And like that's I think that reflection of yesterday,
Yeah.
of actually realizing, oh shit, like I just came out of nowhere with no plan
See,
and am taking over someone else's life and expecting them to change their days for me.
yeah, I think that I don't know, it's maybe it's along the same veins and maybe I'm just doubling down down on the thing, but for me I think it's kind of interesting to see how Shoji is like, well, I want to take care of you. I want to do all these things. Meanwhile, everyone else has been telling Nana, you need to become more independent. You need to think for yourself. And now she's doing that. And now she's also being told, like, but I want to take care of you. I would also be like, what do I do? Which is it? Um,
Well, it's both and.
it's both and, but
It's
I'm
both
glad
and.
I'm glad she takes the independent route.
Oh, same. I'm not saying like not. I'm just saying like we can't have like these super high expectations for a 20-year-old boy who's literally trying to figure it out. Um and has no warning, right?
Hmm.
Because like that is just I just don't think it's fair. I mean, it's not that I like Shoji. I just think that he deserves some level of fairness in this. Um
Yeah, I'm.
and
I,
he works really hard.
yeah, I don't. You see, I don't actually completely hate Shoji. He's a little exasperating. In much the same way that Hachi exasperates you, Shoji
Oh no, it's
exasperates
very
me.
different. It's very different. It's very, very different. Like I yeah, it's not the same because like the thing is I can still see their characters in the depiction of humanity in both of them, right? Um and giving that grace even when people are over the top or characters are over the top. Um and like I think that like they haven't had the time that they need. Like that's it. Um and they're not really allowing the opportunity, and because they didn't even talk about what it would look like when she came to Tokyo, this is why we're having this, right?
Sometimes life just smacks you around right in the
I mean,
face.
I think that it's a very privileged expression essentially for Nana.
Yeah,
I don't think that Shoji has that same privilege.
fair.
Um, and like Nana is aware of that. Like that's what that panel of she doesn't want to be too spoiled and she wants to do these things. And I think that that's valid. And I'm really proud of her for recognizing that.
Oh yeah, for
Um,
sure.
but it's also a matter of going back to those conversations before when they were at the beach and Shoji being like, I would like you to come with me, but I have to get ready and prepare first for that to happen. And she was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway, you know?
Yeah.
She's like, that's a great idea. And then is like, and I'm gonna just do it now, even though you're not ready. Like, that's the thing. That's the thing.
Again,
Um
does he not know who he's dating? But anyway.
well, no.
No, I know. Yeah,
No.
no, he doesn't.
But he
No, he
also
doesn't.
does. But he also does. Like that's the thing. Is
Mm,
he does know that she is impulsive. He does know those things. And I think that he's just asking for just a little bit of, hey, can you like recognize that I'm here too? Um,
no.
I know. Which is why like I don't think that I think that they're good for a time together, but not good for each other, right?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Um, yeah. And so, you know, and so she's like, yeah, but I'm 20 years old and need to know how I can make it on my own, you know? And
Mhm.
he's like, but with a stranger, I don't blame any of her friends for being like, Nana, you can't live with a fucking stranger.
Yeah, but I mean, also, the stranger might not be real.
Right, exactly.
What are the odds that she's just telling them that there is going to be a person living with her to split all this rent and stuff,
For
and
sure.
there's no one actually.
No, seriously. Um, and she's like, just try to understand. And he's like, okay, but try to understand me too.
Yeah,
And then he says under his breath, I'm the one who needs it.
yeah,
Everybody bends to try to understand Nana.
true.
She doesn't do anything to understand the people in her life.
Not at this moment.
Well, I don't actually think she ever really does. Like, even in her like projections of reflection backwards, it's like she's trying to figure out how to understand people, but like even in those reflections, she literally knows nothing about the other Nana.
Well, that's true,
And
but
that's a focal point.
well, if she's, let's see, how old is she
She's
in the
20.
future? No,
Oh,
like in like the future.
I don't remember. It's not that far in the future.
It's not that far. It's like
I don't know. She's probably like in her mid to late 20s.
if she was working from nothing because she didn't take the time to like learn all the things, it's kind of like, what do you have to reflect on when there's nothing that you knew or didn't bother to get to know
Right.
in the time. So um I don't know. And also because we kind of said that Hachi has like a spicy brain,
Yeah.
still navigating the waters of
Right.
people
Right.
and all that.
Yeah, and I think like it's also partially like the middle child syndrome.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like I think
Yeah.
that that's a big part of it as well. Um, in trying to learn how to navigate that space.
Mm-hmm.
And just being so excited to be noticed that you just forget other like that people are noticing you. That
Mm-hmm.
they're that who is noticing you are people. You know. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that like it's also because like the way like and we see this in the way that she describes people a lot. Um, and like even in these next panels it's commented on.
Right.
um because like they're further talking about like her living with a stranger, and and like everybody's concerned, and she's like, why doesn't anybody like the other Nana? And he says, it's not that no one likes her, no one knows her, including you. um and like that's so valid.
I also like Nana's retort though. She's like, "But you do know about her, so that's the same thing, right?"
Right, no, it's totally not.
Oh, to her it so is.
Right. And she's like, Nana is totally hot and totally cool, man. She could be a
Hmm.
model, a movie star, a rock star. And he's like, what the hell? Um, the way you talk about her sounds so shallow. That's literally how she describes everybody, though.
Uh-huh.
Like they're
Like
not people.
everybody.
Right. Because she
They
doesn't, yeah, it's that consideration of feelings. It's not there. Um, right. Um, but and then she's like, if you'd met her, you'd be into her too. I'll introduce you guys.
Yeah.
And so then she's like, but you can't like her more than me, essentially.
Yeah.
And so he's like, all right, introduce us. He's gonna go tomorrow. And Nana is like freaking out, and she's like, promise you won't fall in love with her.
Yeah.
I'm already tied up with you and Sachiko, is what he says back.
And
Like, because
that
he Autumn, but like no, like yes, but no.
yeah,
Yes, but no, because it's foreshadowing,
no.
right?
No, it
And
is. I'm like, don't do it, man. Don't give in to the non-real person because now for like
well,
Hachi.
literally, no one is a real person to Nana. Like
No,
Hachi, like nobody's a real person. So her made-up people are just as real as the real people in her life.
I
That's the point.
know, but that's so it's so bad though. It's so bad because it's like and there's no explanation either. Because she's just like, "Oh, yes, that is right. Sachiko is one intense lady and you couldn't keep up. You couldn't keep up with three women." And he's like asking her like, "Wait, who is Sachiko?" And I don't think she even answers him.
Right.
It's like, "Oh no, but like he should have never brought up Sachiko." That's what I think. Like, don't no, do
I think
not
it's hilarious,
engage.
and I honestly think he's allowed because he already has to deal with the Demon Lord. Like he's already been dealing with so much in the last 48 hours. Like so much. Like his entire world changed in the last 48 hours.
No, no.
Not of his own volition, right? So like I think he's allowed to fuck with her.
No, Shoji, just go to bed and don't talk about
Don't talk
Sachiko.
about Sachiko. It's like Bloody Mary or like Beetlejuice. If he says her name 3 times, she shows up. We should count. So that was the first time he said her name.
That was the first time. Oh, you know what else it is? We don't talk about Sachiko. No, no,
Right?
no. Like, yeah, okay, Beetlejuice, and it's like
Yeah,
Bruno.
so we're on one. He has said her name once.
He said her name once.
Yeah, Nana's already said it like a couple like twice. So that doesn't
Yeah.
really count because she'll
No,
say
no,
it a
no.
bunch. She'll say it a bunch.
Yeah, no, it doesn't count
Um,
for her. She's the creator of this.
right? Well, and like it's not it's foreshadowing for like multiple like characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so then it pans into Jun and Kyosuke looking at the building,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like they thought it was going to be crusty, but it's actually really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyosuke is like it must be haunted or something, and then Nana mentions Adam again. And Adam is from last quarter, or Kege no Tsuki, which is a story we talked about. I don't remember what episode we talked about it, but
I think it's
yeah,
like episode 2.
it's a story
With
about a rock star who dies from a heroin overdose.
so that's like twice they've mentioned Adam. Like
Yep.
he keeps coming up.
Well, like the thing is, though, is I think that Ayazawa incorporates other stories and other characters because A, it's the same universe, but B, it's free advertisement.
Fair.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
why not? And it is the same universe.
Mm-hmm. If you enjoyed Nana, you might also enjoy Last Quarter, also written by me, Aya Yazawa.
Yeah, and it is actually really great. Like, it's so good. Um,
I want to read it like really, really bad.
it's really, really good. And so they're just like looking at the building, and and June's like, okay, so the whole Adam thing, and Shoji is like, why are you guys tagging along? And June is like, well, why not? We got to see
Right.
what kind of freak wants to live with Nana. We'll pretend we're her parents because they literally are her parents.
No, that's true.
And like, yeah, I guess like that goes back into that whole other paradigm of just like your friends shouldn't have to parent you. But I do understand that there is parentage in friendships, right?
Mhm. Yep.
As someone who regularly parents people, I'm just like, it's exhausting.
As someone who has had to be a parent for a few friends, it is exhausting.
It's
Yay.
exhausting. And so then like Nana's mumbling, Adam's cool. I could deal with a ghost like that. She's like scheming because he's hot.
I'm still on the Adam thing.
Right? And so Shoji's like, what are you mumbling about? And which
Hmm.
one is the apartment? And she's like, number 707. And they're like, 707, bad luck. Um, and Shoji's like, when did you guys turn into demon lord freaks? Because
Is
now
that
they're being superstitious. Hmm?
yeah, yeah. Is it Kyosuke?
Yeah,
Isn't that Kyosuke saying that?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Did I say Kyosuke? I'm getting tired. So,
No, that's fair. We're almost we're almost there. Yeah.
yeah, we're almost there. We only have a few
Yeah.
more pages.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Um, so they knock on the door because she doesn't have a key yet, and then they freak out because like she doesn't have a key, but she like paid already and signed the lease. And she's like, hopefully it'll come in the mail tomorrow. And they're like, straight up, you got scammed.
Right. They're like, oh, our worst fear is the thing that we said was gonna happen. It's happening.
Right. But like, she doesn't think about these things. And they're just like, nah, like, these are important things, right? And so then, like, they're waiting at the door, and the door opens, and it's Yasu
And it's Yasu, and you
in a
guys are not
suit.
worthy. You're not worthy to
Right. He's just so, like,
behold.
yeah, he's just, like, so, tailored. He's so tailored
He's
and
very good
shiny.
looking.
Um, Well, like I would say that a primary point in Yasu's attractiveness is actually his personality and attitude.
Mhm.
Like that's just such a premise for him. Um, but yeah, I'm
So
here for it.
he never like takes his sunglasses off, and that's cool.
It's its own cool. Yeah, it's its own cool. It's its own like thing. Because he looks like a gangster,
Yes, he does.
right? Um, so not like they're all just standing there though, like in shock of Yasu.
Uh-huh.
Because it's Yasu. That's it. That's it.
Yep.
If you know, you know. The girlies who know know. Um and he's like, just might who you be. And Nana's like, oops, wrong apartment. Sorry, sir. And they're like, what the hell? And so they start walking away, and Nana comes out screaming cold and yelling for Yasu and asking why there's no hot water. And so then Hachi notices and she's like, wait, I think that is it.
Yeah.
And they're just like, how do you not know you're in an apartment? You should know this. Like, literally, first, you don't have a key.
And then
You
you don't know
gave
where
a
you are.
man money. Like, and now you don't know what door you're knocking on. And so
He's
she,
doing
like,
great.
right, this is going so well. It's going so well. And so Yasu's like, did you call the gas company to have the water turned on? And Nana's like,
Mhm.
turn it on. And then Hachi's around the corner and she's like, Nana. Oh.
Yeah.
And then other Nana's like, hey, Nana. Like, Nana, 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 Nana. Um,
I've been waiting. You're late. Is this your dude? And then Yasu's like, yo, get dressed, because she's in a towel. She's
she's
just
literally in a tiny towel. It's not even
in a
like,
tiny towel.
it's a
Yeah.
tiny towel.
Girl, what's
Um,
up?
right. And Shoji's like, what's going on? Like,
Yeah, he's not even. Oh,
uh,
he's so embarrassed.
right. And they're like, come in, guys. Yasu's also embarrassed. And Kyosuke is like, she's my type, heart. And Junko's like, oh, really? Lucky you.
She's just like, oh, cool, I guess.
Well, and like in the anime, like that's a scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a scene. Like that's a moment.
Right.
And so then Nana runs off because she's cold, because she realizes, oh wait, I had a cold shower. I'm in a towel. It's cold. I'm cold. You know.
Mhm.
And Yasu starts apologizing. And then Nana's like, like Nana apologizes, and then June's like, why are you apologizing? Because like it's literally her place, like it's her apartment. And then we have the two parents meeting.
Yeah, like, oh, Junko's just in it, just right there. Like,
I'm
hello.
Junko, you know, I'm Nana's friend. Who are you?
Mhm.
Yasu is like, excuse me for not introducing myself properly. I'm
Yeah,
Yasushi
sushi. Hmm.
Takagi, i.e. Yasu.
Hmm.
Um, Nana Osaki's friend and associate, and hands the card that says that he's a lawyer. And then they're
Yeah.
all like, law offices, you're a lawyer. Like they're literally freaking out. And he's like, I'm still a paralegal, but feel free to call if you run into trouble. I'm just here to help. And he's like, I'm a good guy, not a Yakuza. Like,
Not a Yakuza. Yeah.
and so then Nana comes out, um, because there's no hot water. And he's like, I told you, you must call to have it activated. And she's like, then you do something about this. Like just straight up like you do it. Like you do it. And he just promptly goes, okay. All right. Like, I'll do it. And everybody's just in awe because she just like
Yeah.
commanded him to do a thing and he's like, yeah, sure. You know,
Oh man. And Hachi is just like, wow, a lawyer with heart.
right? Like and yeah, and Shoji's like, Nana.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it is, yeah, so you don't have a chance, dude. Like, you over there in your stupid beanie, like, what?
Right, but Nana also like Hachi Nana doesn't have a chance with Yasu.
No, but there's like, okay, so there was the thing that like happens later. It's a little spoilery, but she's like toying around with the idea of how she feels about Yasu, and I think that's
Because she like
very funny.
it's super funny, but she toys around with the idea of how she feels about literally everyone.
Oh, that's true. Little Miss Who Am I?
Exactly. Um, and so Nana's like, "Do you want some tea?" And other Nana, Hachi Nana, is like, "Oh, help." And Nana is like, "Do you have some cups?" And she's like, "No." Then she's like, "What? You're useless." Like straight up. And
Which
you're
I love.
useless.
It's like, oh my God,
And
you're
but
useless.
Yasu's like, it matters not if you don't call the gas company for the stove to work. Like literally nothing works because you didn't turn anything on because neither of you are doing anything. Like
No, and I
you
just
have to
love
do these
that.
things. And then we pan over to like June and Kyosuke again, and they're just like, and it's like, oh. They start to just get this realization that there's another adult in the room.
Right. So they can leave now.
So they left.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, this is fine. Cool. We can go now. That's fine. You're clearly in good
And
hands with
Shoji's like,
Allstate."
I don't know what's going on.
Oh, he hasn't said a fucking word like this entire time, and I think that's good. Accurate. Yes.
I mean, but yeah, but it's like confusing.
I know.
Like so much just happened.
Oh man, he yeah, maybe
And
the rock.
Yasu's like leaving so soon, and then like it's so funny because like Yasu is making Nana bow, his
Yeah.
Nana, and Junko is making her Nana bow to each other. And Yasu's like, forgive my inexperienced daughter. May you have pity on her. And Junko's like, yes, sir, mine too. Like, and then Kyosuke and Shoji are just like over the corner, and he's like, and Kyosuke's like, are you working tonight? And he's like, yeah. But should I
Yeah.
stay? You know, because again, this goes back to me defending Shoji. Like, literally, all he does is work. Work and study, right?
He could have stayed though.
If he called in sick and then didn't make rent,
True. Well, he was asking if he should stay, which makes me wonder, like, do you have
right?
like
Because he's nervous and he's like, do we trust this?
yeah.
Um, you know, like, gotta remember, he's paying for everything himself,
True.
right? Um, and he doesn't have like money,
Mm.
like inheritance or anything.
No, which kind of is very funny in like the next panel that you say that because Hachi's like, no, I'm cool because Nana's here and you don't have to stay. And then Nana's just like, yeah, Shoji, be a man and go make her some money.
Right? Like that's literally what he's trying to do.
So good.
And so like then they're walking off and they're just like discussing that they hope everything will be all right
Hmm.
and that at least Yasu exists.
Right.
You
Oh,
know,
good. He's
like
there.
so like they get a break for being a parent, right?
Right.
And um and like Shoji's even more worried now, which I
Yeah.
think is fair.
Oh, really? What for?
Oh yeah. Um because like it's a matter of I'm sure he had a plan in his head.
Mhm.
And I think that innately on many levels he wants to protect Nana. He
Oh,
wants to
oh,
take care of her,
yeah.
he wants to protect her, right? He doesn't want to lose her. At this point in time he doesn't want to lose her. I don't think he ever actually wanted to lose her, right? I think he does care about her.
Oh, yeah, no, he does. He's just
A 20-year-old boy.
hmm and he didn't know he was dating a tornado. So,
No. No, he did not. And so then we go back to Yasu um and then there's like a memory panel and thus begins our lives with no problem, at least not for me.
Mhm.
And Yasu is like, hey Nana, the gas company can't come till tomorrow. And then she freaks out because she also freaks out.
Yeah.
Because they're literally both freaking out. Um, and does that mean no heat either? I don't think this place has heat or AC, is what Yasu says. And they're like, what? And he's like, girls put on a sweater. I've only got my leather jacket here, says Nana. And she's like, and Hachi's like, you can borrow one of mine. And it's really sweet. And then they have a memory panel where
Yeah.
they're like looking through Hachi's suitcase and she's offering her a sweater in a like really cute way.
Hmm.
And this is like the beginning of their love story essentially.
Hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that this is like where their story really begins.
No,
Is
yeah,
once
it
like
totally
everybody
does.
goes away.
Yes. Everybody go away so they can be best friends.
Right? I mean, that's the thing. And I mean, that also is the focus of the entire story.
Hmm.
And everybody has to disappear in order for them to have their story.
Hmm. And
Um,
then she's saying at the end, like just handing her sweater. She says it, but moving in with Nana, didn't freak her out at all. I have no idea why. It was just a feeling I can't describe. And I
right.
love that shot of Nana wearing her sweater, her fluffy, fluffy sweater, and just smiling at
Hmm.
Hachi. And I'm like,
Right. No, it's
oh.
really sweet because, like, they're beginning their little journey together. And then we have a panel about Nana O and her favorite things Vivian Westwood, pistols, 7 stars, um, 7 star cigarettes. Yes.
Yeah.
Um, coffee with milk and strawberry cake and lotus flowers. Nana's favorite things have never changed. It seems so cool to me because I change my mind so often.
Mm-hmm. Because you're a Libra, Hachi.
Dude, so many Libra placements. It's gotta be. It's gotta be. It's gotta be. So many Libra placements.
It's
Maybe
true.
some Leo placements.
Ooh, yeah. Mm,
Yeah, but we also we know their birthday. I just haven't pulled up their charts.
it's true. And I mean that's like future things, like charting things, because I think that would be really fun to see.
Yeah, it would be because we at least know their birthday because they have the same birthday and they talk about it. And in the very beginning, because it's 1999, we have an idea of how old they are. They share
Hmm.
the same birthday. They share the same name. They're like star twins.
Yes.
But yeah. Um oh my goodness. I do want Shoji to go away. We're getting there.
Yeah, I want him to go away too, but that's because, well, it, I think where he goes, where he travels on to,
Is
is
better for him.
better for him. Yes,
Yeah, they're
exactly.
ill matched,
Yeah,
right?
yes. They're
And
just attracted to each other's bodies. They have nothing in common.
well, and
Kind
I don't necessarily think that they don't have anything in common. I think they're both basic. But
of. Sorry.
I mean,
I don't know why I think it's so funny.
but it's not wrong.
Oh, it's so mean.
Well, and I also think though that no, basic isn't a bad thing. It's just a thing. Um,
Okay. No, I know. I know.
it's just a majority, right? It's just a majority.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the thing is once the Nanas meet, Hachi starts to define an actual sense of self and personality.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, when Shoji and Nana started dating, Nana was still literally mimicking who she was dating.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
Like you
that's the
do.
thing. And well, I don't believe that you do that. But um
I've done it. I've mentioned that before that I have
right.
done that. So,
I think that I think that people do it. I think it also happens naturally. But I think that, there's something to be said as you grow up and you develop that you actually just become attracted or meet people who are interested in the things that you're interested in, right?
Mhm.
But I think that Nana or Hachi Nana starts to grow, right?
Yeah.
And the big thing is though, is within those moments of her choosing not to live with Shoji because she starts to grow, she's choosing not to grow with him.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily that that is good or that is bad.
It just happens.
It happens, right?
Yeah.
And um and that's just kind of a reality. Um
Yeah.
because it's just her direction in growth.
Mm-hmm.
Because moving forward, we really don't see Shoji a lot because she blows him off so much.
Yep.
I honestly think that she sets up her own demise in that regard specifically, even if it's subconscious. But
Yeah.
but I also think it's really healthy that she's choosing herself in that regard. It's just she doesn't understand the implications of her choices,
Nope.
right? And so we're going to see victim Nana coming up.
Yeah.
Self-proclaimed victimhoods, right? And not self-reflection. But um yeah, that's going to be its own thing for sure.
Yep.
And it's kind of weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But
I
we'll
mean,
get there.
I can't stand Shoji, but I also understand what Shoji is doing, right?
Yeah. I mean, later, obviously, there are things that I don't blame him for, which is why I'm like,
I don't blame him either.
when you move on to other things, it's gonna be better. It's
And
gonna
I
be
think that
better.
it's just I don't know, I think that it's a mistake that lots of people make, right?
Yeah, because this story is so indicative of like, oh yes, I have done that, and we've done that, and I know someone who did this, and
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But, now they're in their apartment together and it's sweet and it's cute.
And
And
I
we
love
will
it.
and we will join you next week for chapter 3 in volume 2.
We will, and we have an Instagram.
Yeah, you can find us on our socials. Like,
Apartment 707 underscore, I believe.
yep, apartment 707 underscore on Instagram. And you can find either of us. My socials are under Kirsten M. Darling, pretty like exclusively across all platforms. I don't know.
And I am moth underscore lace on Instagram, and I have a Redbubble that links Redbubble. I am apparently tired too. I have a link tree that has all of my other social blips, all the other things.
Yeah, so you can find us in the places.
Yes.
And go ahead and share, like, how do you feel about Shoji in the comments below?
Yes. Tell us all of your feelings about poor basic
And
Shoji.
he's I don't think he's that pathetic. I think that he just wants to be loved and wants to be seen for what he's doing.
And that's totally fine. And I think will get that later.
He'll get it later. We know he
He'll
gets
get
it later. Yeah.
it. Facts.
We know. We know.
We
So
do.
thank you for joining us though. And we'll
Yep.
see you next week. Or hear
Ah.
you, or we won't see you. We won't see you.
Won't see you.
We won't
No.
even hear you. You'll be able to hear us next week. And we're done. Okay, this is over.
Bye.
Bye.
And
Like,
also, like, random side note, Nate is home and he's trying to distract me right now.
Nate, we are busy. You can
Kirsten says hi.
participate in the conversation if you must. Hi.
Kirsten says hi after she, scolds you. Very Capricorn. He's waving.
I miss you.
She says she misses you, honey. Yeah. I know he misses you too. Yeah, he's in there changing now, so. Anyway,